can actually be overwhelming, all this freedom and all these choices, while at the same time there's this knowledge that life is finite, that I will die one day, that there'll be a time when I'm old and I don't have energy to have impact and build businesses and travel and make new connections. So although there is this, on one hand, this wide open sea of freedom, there's also this closing window of opportunity, which is my life. And that's everyone's life, because we're all going to die. As the Stoics say, memento mori. When I first started my business in 2016, freedom was what I was thinking about. I felt trapped in this job. People watching videos like this of entrepreneurs on YouTube are probably still in that first level of the game, of being trapped in the job they don't like. The second level was getting any business to the point where it could comfortably make enough money to support a good lifestyle while not requiring copious hours of work every day. And that was a 4 or 5 year journey. The next phase is difficult in a different way. The first two phases of working up the courage and the velocity to quit my corporate job, and then hustling to build my business to the point where I was able to survive. Those stages were hard, but they were very clear. It was very straightforward what I needed to do. It was the bottom few levels of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This next phase is much harder to pin down. It's a question of, where is my energy best invested? Is it best invested scaling my current business? Is it best invested gaining equity in a new business that solves a bigger problem, has a bigger impact, has more financial scalability, that involves working with other smart, inspiring co-founders? It's also about thinking, what is my purpose? To what degree am I purely optimizing for profit versus purely optimizing for purpose, fulfillment, solving a real problem in the world? Or where in the middle on that spectrum? Then lifestyle comes into play. What kind of a house, what kind of apartment do I want to live in? How often do I want to travel throughout the year? Do I want to have one home base? Do I want multiple home bases? Every city in the world is a potential place I could go because it's an online business. I'm in Vancouver, but I don't need to be here. It can actually be overwhelming, all this freedom and all these choices, while at the same time there's this knowledge that life is finite, that I will die one day, that there'll be a time when I'm old and I don't have energy to have impact and build businesses and travel and make new connections. So although there is this, on one hand, this wide open sea of freedom, there's also this closing window of opportunity, which is my life. And that's everyone's life, because we're all going to die. As the Stoics say, memento mori. So how do you make sense of that? Some people could say this is a privileged situation and problem, which I'll agree it is. But it's one that catches a lot of people off guard, especially people in this space. They're watching influencers achieve this lifestyle, this level of freedom. Then some people will try it and some people will fail. Some people will try it and succeed. And then the ones that succeed expect these metaphorical fireworks to go off when they've made it and life is great and life is figured out. But it's actually the opposite. With that extra freedom that opens up, there's even more to figure out. This video is a bit of a rant. I had lots of shifts in my life over the past couple months, and I find myself with a lot of different options in front of me of what type of businesses to work on, what type of people to spend time with, what city to live in, how often I want to travel, where I want to invest my energy, what hobbies do I want. There's the piece where what is the most authentic thing for me, for Sean to do, which I think is a huge piece. Then there's the piece around to what degree is material wealth competing in this hierarchy of success showcased on social media and magazines and business rankings that we all kind of subscribe to in capitalism. How important is that? All of these factors, which there's not many real guidebooks for how to navigate that. It's interesting. I've been reading Elon Musk's latest biography by Walter Isaacson, which is an incredibly entertaining book. It talks about how Elon would, whenever he was in a period of calm, he would very quickly create chaos or a very tight, unrealistic deadline that he had to race to complete. He wouldn't allow this expansiveness to last too long. He would realize it's there, then he would impose a deadline or a crazy goal upon himself, and then he would be in a position of having his back up against the wall in this life or death, do or die scenario of trying to make it work. And that's where he feels actually, in a strange way, more at peace, when he's in the race, when he is trying to do something that's nearly impossible to be done. And for him, it's worked out so far as he's achieved a lot of things. I don't know how happy he is, but he's achieved a lot for his businesses and for our species, depending on your viewpoints on it. It's interesting. And, he always says he has a maniacal sense of urgency. For him, he is fully dedicated to having humans colonize Mars before he dies. So I think he's in his 50s. So, maybe 30, 40, 50 max more years left in his life, and that's his crazy, audacious goal. Another book I enjoyed, which is Principles by Ray Dalio, and he says that you can pretty much line up everyone on a spectrum, where on one end, people are driven by impact and building a great business, solving a big problem, etc. And on the other end, people prioritize happiness, enjoyment, leisure, fun, just enjoying the experience of life. And most people are somewhere along that spectrum. Dalio self-diagnosed himself as being pretty much all the way up on impact. And I would argue Elon Musk is probably even further. He's like 100% impact at the full cost of his personal life, leisure, enjoyment. Maybe that's a choice we all have to make. Well, what's interesting is that a lot of people don't actually get into a position to make that choice because they're engrossed in the day-to-day of their existence, going to their job, doing the chores at home, paying the rent, getting the bills, cooking the food, raising their kids if they have a family. Just the day-to-day takes up like 95% of their energy. That extra 5%, they're not sitting down and thinking about how to chart the course for their life. They're gonna, watch Netflix or go to Mexico for a week of vacation. Not everyone is in the position to make this choice. Like, where are you on the spectrum? Do you want a lifestyle business and a life that prioritizes enjoying life? Or do you want to reinvest all your chips, all your profit to always solve bigger problems, have a bigger impact, go further, accomplish more before you die, have that sense of urgency with you always? Or is it somewhere in the middle? I don't think there's a right or a wrong. It's an interesting thing to think about. I also know a lot of friends personally who have sold their business, oftentimes for multiple millions of dollars, and they feel very stuck, oftentimes for years afterwards, where they don't know what to do with themselves. Like, literally, they don't know what to do with themselves. In the back of their mind, they think they want to start another business, but they don't know what kind of business to start. They try a few and they're not nearly as successful as the first business they did, so it's not motivating anymore, and they just get stuck in this position of having a lot of money and a lot of time, but they don't really know how to fill it, which sounds incredibly privileged for most people to hear that. But it's actually a hard place to be for a lot of people. And I'm not quite there, but I can relate because my agency now it's quite a cash cow. It doesn't take that much time to keep it going. I'm able to live a very financially comfortable life with it. So I can relate to that a little bit too. It's been said that when someone has found that purpose, that North Star in their life, you can sense it, you can see it in their eye, you can see it in the tone of their voice and their energy. It's a powerful force. And for me, I do want that. On that spectrum of impact versus leisure, I'm probably about 75% towards the impact side of that spectrum. So when I think about 2024, what my goals are this year, there's actually 3 pillars. The first one is continue with North Digital, make it more robust, improve the system, improve the client results, make it into an even better agency. The second one is continue personal brand, making videos like this, posting on social media. And the third one, which I believe is where the lion's share of energy is going to go, is in looking for a new opportunity that carries with it a bigger impact, that is more scalable, that I can bring my unique skills of being a CPA, a digital marketing expert, a content creator, and a business owner to a highly leveraged, impactful problem and solving that problem, which ultimately is at the heart of entrepreneurship. I was presenting this idea in a private mastermind I'm in. One of the guys said, well, you just got to be careful with trying to chase 3 rabbits at once. And that's a fair point. But for me, the first 2 pillars, my agency, my personal brand, are actually flowing into that third pillar of finding a highly scalable problem to solve and a highly impactful business to be involved with. Because the agency gives me the time, money, and expertise to do that. The personal brand gives me connections and gives me deal flow. And also, if this new opportunity involves co-founders don't want to work with someone that hasn't proven themselves as a successful entrepreneur. So I wouldn't be able to get meetings or have conversations with people if I didn't already have the first successful agency. So it's not so much chasing 3 rabbits, it's chasing 1 big rabbit, but these first 2 pillars support that. I'd love to know in the comments, where are you at in your journey? Not just in business, but in life. One thing I've noticed is that when people start a business, this black and white separation between business and life is very blurred. Your business becomes a big part of your life and vice versa. So let me know where you're at. This video is a bit of a ramble. Expect more content from me. Expect more exciting updates from me. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.